The Illinois budget impasse is in its 8th month, and state universities risk losing their accreditation among more rounds of layoffs.
Eastern Illinois Vice President for Business Affairs Paul McCann says the current wave of layoff notices are still being processed. We'll talk about how other Illinois schools are affected by the budget stalemate as well in just a minute, but for a college like Eastern, closing down for even a semester could affect their accreditation.
We want to make sure that we meet those standards of excellence, and it has to do with everything from the quality of the classroom education to the quality of the outside entities, for example, the student media on our campus.
Accreditation goes a long way for public universities, especially Eastern Illinois' journalism department, which in 2012 received their accreditation from the Association for Education and Journalism and Mass Communication.
It's very important to us. It is the base for what we do in academia and the relationship between what we have and the professional media.
The honor has helped the department recruit students and build its program. However, if the entire university loses its accreditation, the consequences would be dire.
Loans come only to students who go to accredited universities, so students wouldn't be able to get money that they usually get. And also, it might become challenging for them to go to another school. The credits that you've earned here, they might not be transferred as easily as they are now.
As a whole, Eastern won't lose its accreditation unless it closes down. But the Higher Learning Commission says, in a letter they sent to the Illinois General Assembly, it's a possibility for all state schools if no budget is passed soon. A problem that's already affecting the university is the school's credit rating. Moody's Investors Service announced last fall that Eastern was downgraded to Baa3, which is only one level away from being considered below investment grade.
When credit ratings decline or are reevaluated, it also affects the interest rate that we pay. So the state, by not funding, may be harming the institution.
Eastern Illinois became an accredited school in 1915, and after a recent re-accreditation last year, they will be until 2025. EIU's low credit rating is based on what Moody's calls a negative outlook based on the amount of money lost with no budget. 45% of Eastern's revenue comes from the state of Illinois. And late this afternoon, Eastern President David Glassman sent an email to faculty and staff. In the letter, Glassman says layoff notices will be delivered on Wednesday and Thursday. In addition, all administrative and professional employees will be required to take the equivalent of 1 day of furlough per week starting March 1st. Employee layoffs will also be discussed tonight at Lakeland College. The Board of Trustees will decide whether or not to lay off an assistant director of physical plant operations, a web learning specialist, a technician with the professional development department, and a custodial worker. The board says the reductions are for budgetary reasons. The board meets tonight at 6, and News Watch will have an update on tomorrow's edition. May not feel like spring yet, but the National Weather Service is gearing up to help prepare new weather watchers for springtime storms. The National Weather Service will host several storm spotter training classes all around central and southeastern Illinois. Meteorologist Chris Miller says the classes will start later this month and run through April. All classes are free and open to the public. For more information about these classes, you can visit the website on your screen. Well, weather spotters, as they were out today, they tracked quite a bit of snow.
And Brian, you're saying even more could fall tonight, and you're talking about some cold temperatures this week.
That's exactly right. We saw those flurries today, and we'll see some even more tomorrow, but we're going to get down to the single digits. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Your Skywatch Report is next. On the roadways could freeze over tonight, so be extra careful if you are headed out for tomorrow.
Yeah, those could definitely freeze over, and you were right when you were saying these winds are driving the temperatures down. It was 40s, just yesterday.
And just yesterday, we have felt very spring-like, and we're already back to that winter, and I'm ready to go back to spring.
All right, thanks, Brian. President Barack Obama is asking Congress for more than $1 billion to help fight the Zika virus.
And it's do or die time for some of the presidential candidates. We'll take you to New Hampshire a day before primary voters cast their ballots. Thanks for watching. This is News Watch on WEIU. Finally, on this Monday, when a Montana dad heard, "Do you want to build a snowman?" he apparently answered yes. It took Tate Dunkel a week to create this snowman in Bozeman in Montana. It's Olaf from the movie Frozen. Dunkel says the snowman is for his daughter, who has a condition that affects her muscles. She can't walk and has trouble standing.
I made it for my daughter Juniper. And she's a special needs child, so I put in the effort to make it extra special for her.
Dunkel says when he sat his daughter down to take a picture with Olaf, she actually stood up and gave it a hug. Well, that story is something that's worth melting for, but these recent snow flurries weren't enough to build an Olaf here in Charleston.
No, not quite yet. We will see a couple more flurries starting into tomorrow.
They're playing the best basketball right now. You know, they come to practice and work hard every day. They make each other better at practice. You know, I can't say enough for these kids. They're, you know, all of them. They're just all around great young ladies.
After a 3-7 finish in the Apollo Conference a year ago and a second-round loss in the playoffs, it'd be easy for those girls to hang their heads. Instead, the Green Wave bounced back this season with an 8-2 Apollo record and a conference title.
It shows teamwork, it shows sportsmanship, it shows everything. We all come together and we play extremely well, especially in big games, and we all come out and we play like we need to and we get the job done.
Now Mattoon prepares for the postseason, where they'll see a familiar team in the Charleston Trojans.
We have the upper hand, like knowing that we won the Apollo Conference, and having it here is going to give us a huge hand also, and I hope it's going to be a really big game.
Spurgeon is one of 3 seniors on the Green Wave squad, and a deep playoff run would be a nice way to send him off.
Oh, I think, I mean, you know, everything to them for all the, you know, the hours they put in, you know, over the years, and just all the kids, you know, all the hours they put in, you know, this year and the previous years. You know, hard work pays off, so, I mean, it would be nice. You know, hopefully it's a good game.
With most of the team returning from last season, this year was all about playing as a unit. The Green Wave proved that with a conference title, and now they have the luxury of hosting a regional.
It's huge because our fans are such a huge part of our games. Like, it's amazing. Our fans are such huge supporters in every game that we play in. I mean, we have boys from the boys basketball team coming to support us, and like little kids coming to support us from like all over the town. So it's amazing. So the support is it's great.
In Mattoon, I'm Nick Ruffolo for WEIU Sports Watch.